Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we are going to take a look at the lost Dark Elf civilization that used to be where the current Sorcerer King currently resides. And since the upcoming 15th novel will be all about the elves as in Aura Mare and the Elf Kingdom in general, and about Zeshi Zetsumai in particular, it is about time that we will take a look at it. But before I do so, let me thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function who made one-time donations. Now with that said, the lost realm of the Dark Elves once prospered within the bounds of the great forest of Top. Just like the High Elves have their own civilization in the forest near the Theocracy, the Dark Elves used to have their own realm at the foot of the Azalesian mountain chain. But everything changed, and the Dark Elves had to relocate to their kin, which was already dwelling within the forest of Avasha. But even there the Dark Elves found no safe place to stay, since the Theocracy and the Elf Kingdom fought a war with one another. And ever since the Holocaust scripture, the Theocracy's elite anti-terrorism and anti-guerrilla warfare unit had intervened. Their only advantage, namely using the vastness of the dense forest and the numerous dangerous beasts within them to fight a defensive guerrilla war, had been lost. And without this great advantage, the Elf Kingdom now stands inches away from certain defeat. But since Ainz Ooal Gown now is traveling to the nation, the fate of the High and the Dark Elves of Avasha will undoubtedly change. But while this is all well and good to know, it doesn't explain why the Dark Elves, who initially had ruled parts, or indeed the entire forest of Top, had chosen to abandon their home and sought out another elfin civilization in order to find refuge. And those who know about the bonus story, where basically all Floor Guardians and Ainz came together in order to find a monster so strong that not even Aura, a level 100 ranger, was able to see the limits of its health pool, might assume that this gigantic evil tree, that now once more has awoken from its deep slumber to once more feed on its environment, killing everything in its path, and then sleep once more. Something which, now that I'm thinking about it, is awfully close to the behavior of a Tarask, is guilty of routing the elven civilization and made sure that they will never return to the forest of Top, simply by its presence alone. But while this could very well be the reason for why the Dark Elves have left their home, there's an interesting difference between the Dark Elves and their closer relatives the Wood and the High Elves. While Wood and High Elves tend not only to dwell within the forest, but also quite literally live in and above it, I imagine something like the 4,000 strong elf settlement that had been revealed to Ark in the latest episode of Skeleton Knight. The Dark Elves are different from these elves. First and foremost, according to Rirarius Benya I Indarun, the big snaky heteromorph guy that Aura had subjugated during the 8th novel, and that now serves as a greeter in the city of Irentel after Ainz had declared the city his. The Dark Elves used to rule the great forest of Top. So while the Serpent of the West likely had ruled the western region of the forest of Top for quite some time, and the Giant of the East had ruled the eastern part, the Dark Elves might have ruled the southern part before Hamskuf came to the area. So it could be possible that the wise king of the forest had come to the new world with the other so-called evil spirits, and just decided to make this new forest his home, forcing the elves to flee. But again, I don't believe that. I believe Hamuske had found the forest already deserted, because the Dark Elves, in contrast to the Wood and High Elves, prefer to live in underground caves, and not within or above the forest, in tree houses. And that's where things are getting interesting indeed, because at least in the web novel, and as confirmed by Platinum, Deep Darkness Dragonlord is supposedly dwelling in underground caves in this very area. And he apparently has killed a player that came to the New World 300 years ago. And he has taken the world class item of the player for himself. Again, another reason that I believe that world items were the reason why players were transported to the New World. This is just more than a coincidence to me. And if all of this is true, then Aura, and especially Mare, who has already been tasked by Ainz with creating caves under Irantel, and of course Ainz, who travels now with them, might learn that there's a great danger directly under the heartland of the Sorcerer Kingdom. So my point is that Deep Darkness Dragonlord could very well be the Smaug of the Dark Elves. He entered the halls and ate them, thus turning their former home into his lair. And maybe a player had already tried to retake these ruins for the Dark Elves, but he was then defeated and his world item taken by Deep Darkness Dragonlord. And Ainz, on one hand, might now know of the danger that this Dragonlord can pose, and on the other hand, would really like to acquire this world-class item for the glory of Nezarec. So after, or even during the 15th and 16th novel, Ainz might go on an adventure again, taking the Floor Guardians with him, and once more he could relive, at least in part, how he and his friends had taken on challenges and explored dungeons in Yggdrasil Online. And on the other hand, I'm already curious about all of the lore and intel the Dark Elves and the Dragonlord himself could reveal. So in short, Deep Darkness Dragonlord might have been the reason for why the Dark Elves had to relocate from their underground realm, with both Hamske and the evil spirits serving as a red herring, like the Deathclaws the Enclave had let loose in Fallout. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Bad Guy Yee, Ben C, Chrissy, Crowley0221, Sia, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Dystopia II, Phil Ralshivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, Chromius, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Okill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantum, Personage, Primus 11, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Ted, Texas Deer, the Orc Warboss, Rocket Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Zonagon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon under my next video.